Hello everybody, my name is Natalia Willette and I'm a real estate attorney here in the state of Florida, and I wanted to let you know that if you have concerns regarding your eviction, something happened, a foreclosure, there might be an objection to sale, or you've got a tax deed to quiet title to, just call our office at 813-480-2106. We help all sorts of real estate investors in the state of Florida, whether you are in Central Florida or North Florida. So today I wanted to talk to you about partition. Partition, yes, partition. You might not even know what the hell partition means, but partition is in essence a remedy available in the courts if you and a co-owner don't agree to things. So what I wanted to mention about partition today is pertaining to how do you pay for a partition, right? How do you pay for this type of litigation? And why is it different from many other types of litigation? So the biggest concern for people when they are having an issue that needs to be resolved through the courts, through attorneys, is of course their attorney's fees. And I mean, that makes sense. It is a significant investment to hire a lawyer to help you fix your legal issue, but just like you wouldn't cut your own hair, you definitely don't want to be your own lawyer. So with partition litigation, again, it's when you and a co-owner or more than one co-owner disagree as to what to do with a particular piece of property. You've tried negotiating, you try to buy people out, and there's just no response. They don't want to do the same thing you want to do, and so you're going to have to litigate it. A partition suit allows you to petition the court saying, hey, we don't get along, we can't agree what to do, please have a sale, force either a private sale or a judicial sale so that I can get back my interest that I put into this and they can get back their interest and we can go our separate ways. If you were to have a typical litigation proceeding that wasn't a partition, generally what we have is a concept of prevailing parties, meaning the winner in the litigation generally gets an award or can request an award of attorney's fees and costs in their favor. And this happens in a lot of different type of cases. It happens in eviction cases. It happens when there's contract disputes and your contract says prevailing party gets attorney's fees and costs. But in partition, what makes the availability of attorney's fees and costs is based on the statute. And the statute here is very, 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 very different. So what the statute says is the attorney's fees and costs are paid by both parties in proportion to their ownership rights, with some equities and equitable kind of balances made out. What does this mean? Well, if I'm a 1/4 owner and I want to have a partition against the 3/4 owner because he and I can't agree on what to do, I would end up paying about 1/4 of the total attorney's fees between the two of us, and they would end up paying about 3/4 of the total attorney's fees between the two of us. That's incredibly different from the vast majority of litigation cases out there. And so it's probably to encourage partition to be a last resort, but it can be very discouraging to people that are in these circumstances, because thinking about having to pay your proportional share of the other party's attorney's fees can be very, very nerve-wracking. And it's not limited to the partition suit. It's limited to any prior litigation that was done to establish ownership rights between the parties. Anything that brought the people to the partition, that assisted in bringing the parties to the partition, could be considered attorney's fees that were reasonable for facilitating partition. And that can mean accruing attorney's fees from prior and different and parallel litigation that can be recouped through this partition. So wanted to let you guys know that's a very different factor in partition suits. If you have questions about partition suits, if you have a dispute with a co-owner and you want to figure out other ways to maybe reach an agreement without having to get to partition, again, our number is 813-480-2106, and we serve all real estate investors and property owners in Central and North Florida.